Hey guys, you're with Jared from Learn BC. We're in Manufacturing Operations 101, and I thought I was done at SOP-8, but this got requested. So we're going to talk about subcontractor manufacturing. So what does it mean when you as a business buy materials, you own it, you consume it, but then you have the subcontractor take those materials, do something to them, and you receive them back? Well, that's what we're going to talk about. So, subcontracting for manufacturing using production orders in Business Central. Before we get started, please like, share, and subscribe. You know the deal. Let's build this channel and let's go. With every video, it's really important to make sure that we understand the context of the rules. Like, why are we doing this? It's really important. The trigger, what's the preconditions, and the key principles. Then let's work through the procedure and understand it. We will come back for visual cues after we've gone through the explanations, and then the outcomes are all, it's really preconditions. What does it look like when it works, but what does it look like when it doesn't, and what are the exceptions? What should we know? This procedure, the trigger for it is release production order contains one or more routing operations assigned to a subcontract work center. In Business Central, in a work center, you can assign a vendor ID, and as soon as you do, that work center becomes the subcontract work center. That's all it is. Materials are staged, and the order is ready to be sent to the vendor. So the preconditions here is the order is released, which is normal. Okay, it includes the operation on a routing includes the operation on a subcontract work center with the vendor number, so that's all good. The vendor exists in BC and the materials are available, so it's pretty straightforward. The principles: service, not an item. The purchase order buys from the vendor processing services, not a physical inventory item. The worksheet is a control point. Never create a subcontracting PO manually. Always use subcontracting worksheets. And receipt, post capacity entry, receiving the PO, records the operation as complete and applies the vendor cost to the production order. So the invoice post direct cost, posting the invoice applies the actual vendor charge to the production order financials, which is pretty cool. So critical, do not post a receipt until the goods have actually received. Do it as it happens. Now, the procedure we've split, I'm going to show you quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a bit involved in this. So for that reason, we're going to take it one step at a time. Issue the work to the subcontractor. Open the subcontracting worksheet. Search subcontracting worksheet. So I'm going to start a few steps before this. I'm going to show you the work center of a subcontractor. I'm going to show you where it's tagged. We're going to go and look at a production order that has a work center in it, halfway down 10 or so steps, operations. One of them is subcontracted. And then we're going to go, and for that particular order, we're going to run the subcontracting worksheet. So step 1, search subcontracting worksheet, calculate the subcontract. I like to calculate it specifically. However, nothing says that you couldn't issue, if you were running a production line and you had 10 jobs to send the items out to that same vendor, you could raise one PO all in one go. Review and accept the lines. It's like a planning worksheet. You got to turn around and go, I accept, and then carry out the action message. So you got to carry it out. The PO gets created. You then either print it or you review the PO, send it off to the vendor. So let's go take a look at Business Central. So in Business Central, I'm in a training company here. I'm going to go into capacities, subcontracted, and you can see my heat treatment here. If I go into it, I can see a vendor number is assigned. Now, this is a standard work center card. There's no magic. It's literally, that's it, okay? And you've got to have your posting set up, otherwise it's going to fail. So that's pretty straightforward. Let's escape out of that. Now, what we're talking about here is a production order, and the production order itself, if I go down to it and I have a look on the routing, you can see that work center 12 heat treatment sitting here, and that's what we've got to turn around and do. So that's the activity we're outsourcing. So this will work through and step through the business, step, and we get to heat treatment. That's actually where we're at. So let's assume, all things considered equal, first and foremost, that the consumption is done and we're in our production journal, like we've consumed the items into the job, we're ready to do the subcontract. Okay, here in our manufacturing manager role, way do we do this? We go to our subcontracting worksheet. You can search it, or you just go worksheets, subcontracting worksheet. Now, my production order number is 14078. And so from here, we open up the worksheet and we have to calculate the subcontract. We click it and I'm going to just tab in and put my number. I'm only doing the one production order, okay? Sorry, I've done that incorrect. I'm filtering by production order just there. We hit OK, and there we go. We've actually got a process. The action is saying it's new. It change quantity, reschedule, or reschedule and change quantity or cancel. It's exactly like a planning worksheet. It looks like, smells like, and you have to accept the action that it suggests, and then you carry out the action message, which will give you the option to print the purchase order. But let's have a look on this line as we scroll over. We can see here the item, okay? We scroll over, we've got the production order number, the operation, the work center. What is the description? On job 14078, I'm just showing you the notes that will pass through. We continue going over. The vendor item number for this is heat treat 101. Excellent. And the direct unit cost per each is $450 each. So I've got that because they've quoted me. I know what the cost is, and we're doing 35 of them. We scroll back and we say carry out the action message. I'm not going to print it, but I hit OK. My purchase order is now created. Now I'm going to go pull up that purchase order. Here is my purchase order. I can see here that I've got the PO created automatically. If I scroll down, I can see the production order is on the line, and as I scroll over, my description is carried through from the subcontractor worksheet, my quantity, and I've also got my price. So that's actually there, ready to go. And that is how we complete step one. Now, obviously, you want to print, send, and send, or if you're using some form of approval logic, you'd release it and send it. But that gets us past step one. Let's move back to step two. Now, shipping the goods to the subcontractor, the current process with Business Central, because you don't, like, the items are not something inventorized, you can't turn around and do a shipment. What you do is you can print a docket from the production file, gather and stage the goods, create a delivery docket. So our D-Ship allows you to do a label and record a shipment date. So the objective here is you've got outbound goods going to your contractor, your contractor comes, picks them up, and we just need some form of receipt in place, and you upload that against the project. There's no action in BC required for the outbound shipment. We're not actually staging it outwards. So the outbound movement of goods to the subcontractor is a physical process. No warehouse spec, no transfer order, no journal entries required in Business Central at this stage. BC is updated when the goods are received back as part of phase 4. Phase 3, we receive the goods back from the subcontractor. So here, physically inspect the returned goods. This is our standard receiving process. Confirm the quality of the vendor's work meets the acceptance criteria before opening Business Central. Confirm the quantity matches the PO, and we are actually receiving off the PO. So if the vendor has returned a partial quantity, note the shortfall. Do not post until you've got the full quantity is fully returned, and obtain the vendor invoice. So let's go take a look at what that looks like within Business Central. Here in BC in my PO, I do have the ability to turn around against the location and put in a quantity to receive. And let's say that I've received 25 of this particular item, okay? And at this stage, I've been invoiced for 25. I have the ability to upload my attachments against the documents just here on the side panel. From a business management perspective, we don't touch invoices. We don't. That's a financial impact within this SOP. But what we do is we do need to make sure that we've got all relevant information here, and we hit post and receive. And so as we receive this, it actually receives this now. And if you scroll over, you'll see 25 have been received. And let's say that at another time, 10 more have come in. I can hit 10, I can post it, and I'm receiving straight on the purchase order. I click receive, and now I've received everything. And if I click on the 35, I can see the 2 separate receipts. It gives me the capacity to turn around and effectively receipt straight into production because it's associated with the production order. Step 4 is all about posting the receipt and the invoice. And this is a financial matter. This is something where I don't want to, it's where the SOP stops just here, but it's full context. The purchase order is opened by the finance team. They enter the vendor invoice number. The quantity to receive has already been received on that order. What they do is they put in the quantity to invoice, and then they post the purchase order. So click post, and they can then post, receive an invoice, verify the routing line is finished, and it's done. And so at that point, the costs are actually received back on this order into production. So back in Business Central, I've just put an invoice number from the supplier. I have a quantity to receive, which is the quantity to invoice. And so if I hit post, receive an invoice, and that is now done. That is now entered against the production order. Now back within the production order, if I was to click statistics, I can actually see now the subcontracted cost has an actual cost against it now. Now, what are the exceptions and the post conditions with this procedure? So if the worksheet, when you run the subcontractor worksheet, it shows no lines, verify the production order is released and that the routing operation work center has a vendor number assigned. Because remembering, the only thing that makes that a subcontracted work center is the vendor number in the work center. Number 2, vendor returns partial quantity. We'll just receive the partial quantity. It's pretty straightforward. It's a standard proceeding process. Automatic output post on receipt. So occurs when a subcontracted op is the last routing step into the dummy final operation after it to prevent the automatic output. So you've got to make sure that the last operation you run when you post it, that you don't actually create the output. Vendor invoice numbers from purchase order cost. So, differs from the purchase order cost. So you just update it. You update the invoice line. Finance do that. They match the invoice as it comes in, and the corrected cost will be applied to the production order. Return goods fail the quality check. Well, do not post. Place the goods in quarantine, contact the vendor and arrange for rework or replacement. Only post the receipt once the acceptable goods are returned. And what's the post conditions? Subcontracting purchase order status is invoice, so it deletes the PO, creates an archive PO, gives us a posted purchase invoice. The purchase order routing line for the subcontracted operation shows as finished. The capacity ledger posted for the operation linked to the production order. All right, we have vendor's direct costs applied to the production order financials, and the production order is ready for the next operations after finish. So that's it, guys. Like, subcontracting, super cool. Follow us on the next SOP. See ya.